Hey everyone, my name is Coach Devon Buchanan, and welcome to Youth Uncut. Youth Uncut is a show that gives youth a voice and an opportunity to discuss the things that mean most to them. This is the Focus Youth Network. The Focus Youth Network is a nonprofit organization that provides innovative educational and recreational activities for youth and their families centered around wellness and nutrition education, character development, and post-secondary success. And I'm so excited to have someone that I revere so much. I've just watched her be able to grow into just an amazing person. And today we're going to talk about the concept of faith over followers, the importance of having faith in our lives. So welcome, Natasha. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are
Good,
you?
good. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Natasha, I got to say it's really awesome to have you on here today. It's good to be able to talk to you. And I know that we haven't had one of these in-depth conversations in a while, but I know who you are, and I know we'll be able to kind of get right into it. And people who watch this will be able to get a lot of value, kind of out of the things that we're sharing. So I'm excited to have you on today. So I met Natasha a long time ago when I was a former teacher at Mastery Lenfest, and I just want to give you an opportunity to share a little bit about yourself. Just tell us, who is Natasha Jeffcoat?
Oh, okay. Well, hi. My name is Natasha Jeffcoat. I'm a senior at Mastery Charter Fest campus. I'm a writer. I write poetry. I'm also an activist for human trafficking. During the 2020, the beginning of 2020 school year, I did anti-human trafficking awareness presentations at different Philadelphia high schools.
Mhm.
And I also run a mentorship program for middle school girls called Little Ladies Talk. This program is to help young girls with the transition from middle to high school when it comes to the work that they'll receive and just social life and things that just cannot be taught in a classroom. High school seniors and college freshmen come down to mentor the younger girls. Each event we have activities and then activities to help with the challenges to come with high school and growing up, and then each girl is paired with her mentor, which becomes her personal mentor, and they stay in contact. They're just able to help each other long term. That's
That's awesome. That is awesome. Like when, and like I said, like when I knew, just having you on, you would be able to speak to the amazing things that problems that you see and the solutions that you try to come up with. It's awesome. And I knew that you were a special young lady when I'll never forget this. And this was kind of new in my teaching career, but we were in seventh grade, and I remember we used to talk about all kinds of stuff, but I can't remember exactly what we were talking about. We talked about marriage or something along those lines. And I guess you had gone home like a great seventh grader should, and you shared it with your parents. You shared it with your dad. And I remember back to school night, he came to me and was like, what is this you're sharing or you're talking about in class? And from that moment on, I knew that there was a lot of involvement and that you were rooted in really strong values. And that's what I really want to talk about today is just the values that you've been instilled within your life and how they've carried you throughout your life. So one thing I wanted to say is like at that point, I realized that faith and religion was and really still is a huge part of your life and your values. And so how were you able to develop your faith as you got older, as you were growing up? Do you remember the early days of, just religion and faith in your life?
um actually no, I cannot say that. I can speak and say that faith came with just being hopeful that there is good people.
Mhm.
Faith came with just trying to be a better person and a kinder person,
Mhm.
because I can't say, oh, Natasha was always perfect, or I've always been what I am now.
Yeah,
But wanting to be a better person and wanting more and wanting to help other people contributed to my faith and my religion is all wrapped in one. Just
ab-
wanting to see good and wanting to do good.
absolutely. Was there a specific moment in your life where you were like, and I can speak to the ups and downs in my life where I can say that faith was preeminent in my life and was a big part, and that's when I could see the success. And I could also say like I recognized when it wasn't part of my life and when I was seeing kind of the negative things happen. Was there a turn in your life or a point where you realized like I kind of maybe need a little bit more or I need to change my outlook on things?
I think when I created my page, the At Rent and Justice page on Instagram,
Hmm.
and I started getting so much positive feedback, it was just like, if so many people are telling you the same thing,
Hmm.
maybe you should listen.
Yeah.
Like, so many people are telling you, oh, you have a gift, you can do so much good. It's like, why would I put this to waste?
Mhm.
And then it's not easy to be yourself all the time and have it so public, because
Absolutely.
even that I'm so young, I'm not perfect. So if I put a lot of things like my progress and everything on social media and I fall off, it's so noticeable.
Hmm.
And that's where like having faith comes into play. Like, just keep going. People tell you have this gift, use it. Okay, I'm 17. I'm not always going to be tunnel vision, but okay, at least I can see what I'm not. Okay, now time to get back focused. And it's
Absolutely.
people that push me, people I follow, that I just can't let them see me just not just being average,
Hmm.
because they expect so much more from me. Like, you're one of those people. If I feel like if I stop everything I do, if I just go to school and go home, I'm wasting so much. It's like,
You're wasting a gift.
yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is not you.
And and I guess I need you to know that for me as an adult because I've seen people at adults who are twice your age doing very similar things. But when I'm an adult and I see someone like you who like has been consistent, and like you said, it's difficult to put yourself out there and show the growth and show the things and let people know what's in the innermost workings of your mind, but then also trying to be consistent with that. And you have been, which is how I know that you're meant to do great things, because people do look to that. I look to you to say like, all right, I need to go to her page to know that all right, there's good things happening with our youth and not just all this negativity. And not all the negativity and watching Philly Scoop Hall and all the other crazy stuff
Yeah.
that kids are doing. And I'm like,
You would
I'll,
get
I'll
so
see.
discouraged. I'm
What were you
telling you.
saying?
I said you would get so discouraged because I follow those pages, and it's not to say that they highlight everything negative. They highlight what's going on, and
Hmm.
that's that's what's going on. You have to check deeper for those positive things. Like my dad was just saying, a lot of the times when you put out positivity, you won't get that attention. You won't grasp people's attention. Because like, you post a fight, you post some gossip, you'll get that attention. But you just
Hmm.
have to keep going with your positivity. Because
Absolutely.
in the long run, it'll be worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, you've always been like a self-aware person to me, someone who, whether, and like you said, you're 17. So whether or not you always do the right thing isn't the issue. It's kind of knowing when and when not to operate and when you need to kind of buckle down and do those things. And, what would you say are maybe three things in your life that you hold on to strong that you would say are values that are important to you? It could be something like family, education, maybe a core value like honesty or something like that. What are some things that you would say are important to you?
That's a good question. Um, being kind to other people.
Okay.
That's something. Not even just being kind to other people. being kind to people who really need it.
Hmm.
Like people who have less than us.
Yeah.
People who are homeless, people who are on drugs. It really, like, honestly, it really hurts me seeing, you know, people hurt them. Like, it's actually people in the streets who will bully
Hmm.
homeless people and people who are, not in the best place in their life. And I be kind to people, especially those who need it.
Yeah.
What else? Uh,
So you got kindness. What are
Definitely.
you rooted in? You know, being kind. What else is important to you?
Being, I feel like being ambitious.
Yes.
Being
Absolutely.
ambitious. Um, because when I forgot to mention I did an open mic night when I was in the 10th grade.
I remember that.
Yeah. Um, I started that when I had like 500 followers on Instagram.
Hmm.
The whole room was packed. This was mostly people I didn't know. I've never met before, just over that social media platform.
Hmm.
But because I wanted that so bad, I wanted to just live that out one time. I was grinding, like
Hmm.
constantly finding people, constantly posting, advertising, and the showing on.
Absolutely.
They just taught me, like, anything that I see up here, I will one day physically be able to see it. And that's why I work so hard for my program, because I've seen it up here, so I know that if I work hard enough, it will happen.
That
And
is the truth. Like that is the whole daggone truth. Like I couldn't. I mean, I started the Focus Youth Network just because I kept seeing it in my head.
you know what? Let's
That's it.
can I talk about you for 1 second. I remember. Oh my goodness! I remember this one time. We were we were in a gym, as usual. We were playing music and everything, and you was just yada about this program, and you were talking about leaving Limp Fest, like, to really get it started. And then one day on Instagram, coming across your page, it's like he got a TV show. He just did everything that he said he was going to do. That he just kept talking about doing while he was teaching us at Limp Fest, and it's like he just did it. Like, you, I was so proud of you, because it's like Limp Fest. It was we had a good thing going,
Hmm.
but it wasn't good enough for you. It wasn't enough for you. That wasn't. I don't think that was your dream. You know,
Yeah.
you were doing a good thing, teaching and everything, but you needed more. You wanted to do more. You wanted to be in control of more. You wanted for us to cook in class and everything, and to really be able to do that. And we
Yeah.
couldn't really do it in Limp Fest. We did it, but we
Yeah.
couldn't really do it. But you
Yeah.
got to a place where you run your own program. You know, you bring your own people in. Is it what you wanted? You got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and when I tell you, and I talk to Miss Sheila all the time, you know, and she was like, you know, you needed to leave, and that's really the point of this conversation is faith over followers. And when I tell you, I left Lenfest and took a pay cut, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I put my faith in God and my faith in the work that we're doing. The same thing you're doing when you see something up here and you know it's what you're supposed to be doing, you can't not do it. You can't not trust that it's what you're supposed to be doing. So when you messaged me a few weeks ago and you were like, "Hey, I need to find a place to do this," I'm like, "I'm on this. Let me call whoever I know to make this happen because this girl has something amazing, and all she needs is the support. All she
That's
needs is someone to help her put the little pieces together. That's all it is." You know, and I love that you have that faith. I love that you trust yourself to keep going. It's awesome. It's
and
awesome.
that faith. When you talk about taking that pay cut, I felt that because I that event is mostly being paid out of pocket. So here I am paying for the venue, paying for food, paying for decorations, paying for activities.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working for $10 an hour and going to school. I have parents who will take care of me. So the only reason I'm going to work every day is for that program. Because if
Yeah.
it wasn't for that program, I mean, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Would
Good
not
for
be at
you.
Chipotle making bowls. So that faith, like I gotta do this. That's how I know it's meant to happen now.
Yeah.
Because I would feel so uncomfortable giving up. It would not settle with my spirit. It just wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you do amazing work, and I love that you're investing in the your peers, like not even just younger kids, but like the event that you did, were for peers, were for people like you, older, younger. You asked me if I wanted to sing, and if I wasn't like a little nervous singing in front of kids and like worried I'd have been on somebody's page looking crazy, I
But
probably
watch
would have done
this.
it.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Like these were people who wanted to see people. This was not um the kids that you'll see on Philly School, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was other artists. It was adults.
Yeah.
There's a lot of adults there.
Yeah.
There's a
You
lot of
know, I had a couple other questions that I think
yeah.
would be I had a couple other questions that I think would be great for, even younger people. There's going to be a number of different types of people that see this. So one, I won't put you on the spot, but if you felt like you wanted to share a poem for our audience, you definitely could do that. I'll give you, some time later if you want. But I did have this question for you. Why poetry? Why poetry as an outlet for your feelings and your thoughts and things? Why that particular outlet?
Well, poetry was never meant to be public, honestly, with me. I just This is how it started. I hated math. I have never been good at math. And in what was this? May have been 8th grade.
Hmm.
I would sit in the back of Mr. Buddha's class,
Hmm.
of my math teacher's class, and just write poems. I was always into literature and like writing. And in his class, I just would not concentrate, and I would just be writing poems and reading. And I know I used to get phone calls home to my mom and my dad for reading during class, and it's like they couldn't get mad at me, but they were like, "Just you can't do that." Like
Yeah.
it's like, am I going to get chastised for reading? It's
Yeah.
like, no, you can't read, you can't write while you're in math class. You have to learn what you're in class with. But that was basically just how I got started writing. It was always private, but I had this notebook where I kept my poems in. And in 10th grade, one of my friends just went through the book and she was reading. She was like, "This is really, really good. Like, this is really good." I'm like, okay. So one day I started the page, but I started it anonymously.
Hmm.
But my friend knew who it was. So she would share them, and basically everybody from the school followed each other.
Hmm.
They're like, "Well, who is this? Like who could this be?"
Hmm.
And eventually, okay,
Yeah.
figured out who else but Sasha.
Yeah.
So then I just started like posting as who I am.
Hmm. And I remember it was like wildfire. Your page, um, your page blew up so much. And I remember seeing it one day. I remember, I guess, seeing it at this 500 pages. Close to your event and right after your event, it was going up by a couple hundred like every week. And I was like, how'd she get to 2,000 followers this fast? And it was just like the authenticity. Like you were really putting out fire. You were really talking about some real some deep rooted things that I think a lot of young people deal with. And I always wondered like what some of that inspiration was. Like such of the power, so many of the things that you shared were just real things about relationships and stuff that people were going through. Like, and that's what I asked about the inspiration for it. You know, like how do you have you been in all these types of relationships? Like how do you know so much about it?
No, it's a lot of things. As I've said before, a lot of things that I write about is either something I've went through or something I've witnessed.
Hmm.
So it doesn't have to be me, right? Most of the time, it's not me. It's just what I see, and the page was able to grow so frequently, so fast because it was real. And it was less. It was more spoken word than poetry on my page. So
Uh-huh.
it's real. It's fast. It gives you the chills. It's like true, 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 true. Wow. Like
Yeah, yeah.
um and yeah, but I've actually um taken a bit of a transformation from
Hmm.
writing about just um things like relationships or troubling things to writing more about issues,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
writing about peace, or writing about actual topics. And it has the followers on my page have slowed down,
Hmm.
but this is faith over followers. I
Yeah.
do not want to put out just things about relationships and stuff because I'm 17. Who cares? Like that's not my focus.
Hmm.
Things that are important: the Black Lives Matter movement, the human trafficking, peace, elevating, growing yourself. That's
Yes.
what's important to me. So if I'm posting this, wait, if I'm posting about the relationships and the followers go faster versus I'm posting about what's really important and the followers go slower, I'm gonna be over here.
Hmm.
Because as I've said, the things that are not as, I'm not saying that it wasn't positive, but the things that are not about growing, evolving, and peace, things people don't always want to see that. That's not what grabs their attention.
Hmm.
I don't care. Like I'm going to put out what looks good, what has a good image on me, and what reflects me as a person.
Yeah.
My whole life is not about relationships and things like that, whether the poetry is good or not.
Yeah.
I want to write about what's real in my life.
And that like it's amazing that you say that because my page slowed down a lot because there was a lot of change that I went through in my life, and you probably noticed I started the line "God over everything" because it was a reflection of the changes that were happening in my life. And I noticed that the more I started talking about God and stuff like that, like I wasn't getting as much engagement, not as many people were either sharing it or liking it and stuff like that, which doesn't really bother me because I know they're still seeing it. Like it's not like they're unfollowing, but I know they're still seeing it. And I think, it's more important to get your message out, which is what you do. So we have just a couple minutes left.
Mhm.
And I want to be able to provide some tangible advice to people
Hold on.
um, as they watch this. So, if you could give three pieces of advice, and you could frame them as, you're now a senior to someone who's going to college, maybe, or someone who might be struggling with something, or even just a happy piece of advice. If you could give three pieces of advice to a peer, what would that be?
My first piece of advice will always be first. Use the people that you have, your teachers, mentors, and use them and create good relationships with people. Because you never know who somebody is now, who they know, or who they may become.
Hmm.
A lot of the things I've done have been through going back to people in my past and asking them to help me with things the same way I did with you.
Hmm.
So build good relationships and use those people.
Yeah.
Two, stay kind and positive. Focusing on the positive will bring you a lot of light. Being kind to other people, you'll see that good things start to happen to you. And stay true to who you are and work for what you want.
Hmm.
Um, when you're always yourself, you cannot go wrong. You attract the right people. You're in the right places, and when you're working hard for what you want, it'll come. And it's genuine because you know what you want, you know who you are, you move as you. So everything that you want, everything that you work for will come to you and it'll be for you, not the person
Absolutely.
you're trying to be.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. Before we get out of here, we got about a minute and a half left. I want you to tell the city about your upcoming program that's happening at Reading Corner Cafe. You got 1 minute. Go.
Okay. So, um, my program is called Little Ladies Talk. It is a mentor program for middle school girls. The high school seniors and college freshmen come down to mentor the girls. We have workshops about once a month, and it's basically to help the young girls with the transition from middle school to high school and just to help them with social issues. um, my Instagram is at written justice and my Gmail is Natasha Jeffcoat at gmail.com. If you know anyone who would like to participate in this event, sponsor or donate, please feel free to DM me. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're about to finish up. Natasha, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for being a gem. And when I say a gem, like you are a light, you are just an amazing young lady who is going to continue to bless our city and this country and the world. And you have me behind you whenever you need. All right, homie?
All right.
Thank you
Thank
guys for
you.
checking out Youth Uncut and supporting the Focus Youth Network because we believe providing our youth with extraordinary experiences will produce extraordinary individuals. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.